Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Tempest Citadel, and the key was provided by developer. I waited quite a long time with this review because this is one of the best games that I played in this entire playlist. It's 9 out of 10 right from the start and full recommendation. I really like the game. To the point that when I started playing it at 23 hours, an hour before midnight, I finished at 5 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours I played on easy. I finished the entire game in one sitting. And the game was really good experience. Now, the game is very similar to XCOM series. However, there is much more focus on management and much less focus on the tactical combat. The tactical combat almost isn't there. It's there if you really want to have it, but you can pretty much auto-resolve most combat situations, most battles. We could say this is XCOM on fast forward. That's why the campaign is faster. As I said, this was 6 hours on easy. I have no idea how much the difficulty scales if you play on harder. So, just be warned that if you like XCOM games and you are used to long campaigns, this will be shorter, just because the combat is shorter. And now, a couple of warnings. First of all, this will contain spoilers when it comes to the content of the game, because I decided to show you the strongest element of the game, which is the content, which is how much stuff is in the game. And it wasn't possible on the beginning phase of the game because it's very scripted and most mechanics are not even there. So I'm gonna show you my save file, which is 96% of completion. I'm gonna try to skip as much lore and story as I can, just give you the basics. I'm not gonna go into details about what is going on. I'm just gonna give you the very short resume of the whole situation. So basically, you land on an alien planet where different factions of aliens exist, and you have a sort of, well, we can say you have a spaceship with colonists, and then you have something like a base, a sort of a hub. You just have a base that you build, you get more stuff to the base, you get resources, you do the research, and you try to slowly spread your dominion over the planet. And just like in any XCOM game, you start with very basic research, very basic soldiers, crappy ship, only guns, no armor, just basically nothing. And the aliens overwhelm you with everything. And then slowly, very slowly, the situation goes the opposite way. So you start to dominate them, you start to get research that allows you to fight on even ground and eventually dominate all the aliens, all the species. So that's the general idea. This is basically XCOM, but it's much more management game and strategy than tactical combat. We start with the load. So yeah, that's my percentage. I'm gonna show you this. This is the earliest file that I have. So this is our base. It contains different parts that serve different purposes. I'm gonna start with showing you just the combat. We'll have to go to, I think this is the planet view, very similar to XCOM. I know that there are different XCOM games. There are first XCOM games, very old ones. Then there was the trilogy, like 2 games in between. The trilogy was done by another developer, and then we have the new XCOM and XCOM 2. So there is probably around 10 games plus spin-offs of the XCOM franchise, and this is just very similar. So this is the map. All those points are already taken ground, so I dominated the entire planet. There is tons and tons of points of interest. Basically, each of them is a combat that later gives you, for instance, additional resources, additional jobs for your crew. You slowly take over most of the planet. I think those are also taken. Yeah, this is controlled by me. There's only a couple of bases left I guess this is something that you have to research to go through. Whatever, I'm not gonna go into lore details. I'm just gonna show you one combat situation. This is basically full squad of my soldiers, quite high level. However, I played on easy and I didn't micromanage a lot. You could micromanage more, or you could do a lot of stuff in an automatic way. So I just usually did what the game was proposing to me. I was just pumping resources and research. So this isn't very micromanaged. My team is pretty much random, I could say. Alright, so we are flying there. Now the game will unpause, I guess. Or we have to unpause it. This is what? Advance to event. Fast time. Okay, let's go to advance to event. Is it flying? How do we do it? Oh, we have to launch. Okay, we launch, it happens. Right. I played it quite a long time ago, so just bear with me. Okay, we have to engage now. This is basically what kinds of units we have. We have 3 medics, 2 research guys, 2 engineers, 2 scavengers, 3 soldiers. Those are basically classes of soldiers. This means we have 12 people on the ship. This is the usual combat ship that exists in all the XCOM games. Basically, you have a team, you land in the site that you want to dominate or fight in, and that's it. This is the squad health and this is squad armor, probably just the average or something. Right, so we engage combat, it should stop, and those games, those combat situations are done in a very fast forward way, very short, and they look generally speaking like RTS. However, you can do some tactical moves here, you can stop it. I don't know why it's not going. Maybe I should click it. Yes, we should click it. So basically, this is the battlefield, kind of like in Total War, or maybe not exactly Total War, but some RTS game. You can move camera around. You can have active pause on space, I think. Yes, space just toggles. Alright, so we have basically 2 combat groups. This is the creatures. I'm gonna just let them die. And this is my entire squad as full team, just as one group of units. I'm gonna move them, let's say here, or maybe somewhere here, and let them fight. So you will see the combat resolve, hopefully quite fast. I'm just gonna go play. Sadly, those creatures are quite weak, so they are probably going to die very soon. We might have losses. So this is how combat resolves. We can see units dying on the right side. We can maybe stop it now. Sadly, it's very loud. Yeah, it's loud. Oh, now it's not. Okay, so we lost one guy. He can be, by the way, revived if you have medics in team. All our creatures died, and they lost some soldiers. So let's resolve the game, the combat. That's how it works. On its own. You could, of course, stop it and make your team, let's say, move. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna let it go on. We are using different weapons, different skills, and that's the end. That's basically the end. We have losses. Let's see who died. I think nobody died. We have wounded guys. We have complete losses. No, we just have 4 wounded. It's showing how many people we are fighting, what weapons were used, and so on. Yeah, performance, blah blah blah. Just a full report. We can use medics to like help the team right there, and they are not gonna be as much wounded as they would be otherwise. And that is, I guess, it. Right, and now we can look in this place that we fought before the storm comes. So before the storm comes, we can explore this whole area. We can open different rooms as much as we can, or we can just auto-complete it like this. We get a variety of resources, and then the team evacuates. This is generally going on its own. We got some stuff here, research, robotics, polymer. Those are all resources basically that we get after combat from the well, the point of interest. It's just an underground bunker that is being looted, and we run away. If the team is not very specialized in all that looting, that we can just pick a couple of rooms and escape. So they go back to base, and this is the general game loop of the game when it comes to combat, just the combat. So that was the world view, that was one mission, and of course you would have to go to all the other places and win all the battles. I don't even know what we are fighting, it's not important, just one of the factions. Also, I'm not sure what is this. Fate. Okay. So fate is something that goes down if we lose. If we lose, the game goes back to the situation from before the fight. So it's like autosave, but it goes down. If it drops to the 0, I think we lose the game. Yeah, that's what it says, but it never dropped for me, so whatever. Right, so now I'm gonna just show you all this stuff that's in the game piece by piece, because the biggest part of it is just the complexity. So this is basically all our soldiers that we have. We have basically up to 100 people, and each of them has specific stats. Now those are dead, they are in the morgue, and if you go down, those are our units. So this guy is a soldier. He has all stuff explained, like he has a level, what stuff is he using, what weapons he has. We can put him to cryosleep or not. This is his job, so what he's best at. The game is proposing what he should be doing, so he would be a good scavenger or engineer. Those are his stats, health, XP that he got, and proficiency in weapons. Also psi power, and skill in other stuff like engineering, scavenging, research, and medical. And this is probably superior. I'm not sure if this is his morale or this is the general morale of the station. So this is our general situation. We're quite happy. This is the number of people active. I have 38 dead because I didn't realize that you can revive them. Those are the quarters, they are full, so we can have up to 100 people. This is food supply, it's higher than we need. This is health of the team, they are generally healed. Cryogenics, yes, we have 38 dead, and some people in research, some people in engineering, some people in medical. So that's just the amount of people that we have. We have 100 people to use, and we can give them different jobs or make special loadouts for this team. I was using just one loadout, 12 people, and if someone was dead or wounded, I was just putting random people back to the team, back into the mill, and they did well, quite well. Now this is the next tab that we have. So if you have one guy, like the same guy, let's leave the same guy, we can equip. Let's see what happens if we get rid of this. We can equip another item. So I'm gonna just show you the amount of stuff. Like those are weapons that we can use. This many. I'm not gonna go into details, but there's basically this many weapons. This many armor. Of course, a spoiler sort of, but I was telling you before that I'm gonna kind of spoil it for you. But just wanted to show you the amount of stuff. There is this many stuff to research and to build. So different armors, different weapons, different equipment, and is that it? That's 3 items or 4 items. Equipment, armor, weapons. Yeah, I guess that's it. Maybe something goes in 2 places. I'm not sure what is this exactly. I think it might be something that comes into psi. No, it's not a psi. Maybe it's an item as well. Let's see. Yeah, it's an item. So this is an item, and this is an item. So we have 2 item slots. One slot for armor, one slot for gun. Then we have psi powers, if we have any. Again, there is this many to use. They generally use them automatically in combat, so you can research them and give them to your team to make some sort of psi soldiers. Pretty much like in one of those XCOM games where you had psi soldiers. It was even in first 2 games we could mind control there, and I guess you could also use it in the trilogy that came after that. You had like psychic soldiers and mechs, or cyborgs, more like cyborgs. It depends which game you are talking about. I don't remember all of the names, but I know this is the general idea that the basic soldier evolves into some version of that soldier. This is medical, which allows us to give either robotic or synthetic parts or signs. So sign is something like a tattoo that gives you all kinds of bonuses. You can see how vast it is. If you wanna delve deep in it, you can, let's say, give him a Slayer bonus, which will improve what heavy and is it explaining? Yeah, it is explaining. This gives strength and dexterity, but lowers intelligence. And the Rhino is basically HP. Soul is what? Soul is for Psi. So if you want to have Psi soldiers, you give them Soul. If you want to have tanks, you give them Rhino. Slayer is for DPS. Phantom is for Stealth. I never used Stealth. I have no idea how it works. The game is just too deep to understand if you just play it once. And Mantis is something else, probably light weapons. Yeah, those are synth pieces. They lower HP, but aside from that, they are basically positive. They boost you. And I think robotics are just a weaker version. They lower HP much more. They are like a more primitive version. If your team gets wounded, you can exchange wounded body parts to their robotic or synthetic counterparts. That's how it works. So this guy has some stuff already equipped. You can of course change it and give specific parts to specific members of the team and micromanage it to the hell and beyond. And perks, now you can actually switch perks, which is very strange. I am not sure this was in the game before, but you can do it. The game is proposing what fields of perks will be interested in. So we have like miscellaneous and scavenger. Let me just go up. But if you want, you can give the same guy research perks or medical perks or production perks or psi perks or combat perks. It's completely up to you. Let's see how much there is. So all that stuff can be micromanaged. You can make different combinations of these, try to reach some sort of synergy, use specific teams for specific types of enemy, and so on and so forth. Very, very big amount of content. Now this is what is it? This is our base. So basically we have a couple of main facilities that slowly appear as we do the research. We can also upgrade them. I think this is here, but they're already upgraded. Yeah, I guess they are already. Can we do it? No. So basically those are the core modules. And then we have, let's see, Academy. No, it's just low condition because probably it was attacked. So different types of facilities. And then we have something like external ring to our hub base. And here I guess we can upgrade here, but that was already done. I think it is here, so you can change it. Basically you can demolish one of those and put something else. So if you want, let's say there was food. Yeah, there was food. This is engineering, this is science, research. So if you have all research done, you can probably scrape those. This is again more research. It also allows our team to, we're here at the beginning, yeah, it gives you spots. So if you have more medical facilities, you can have more medical people on the duty. If you have more engineering spots, you can have more engineers on the duty. Same for research. So right now we have many places, but only 13 researchers. This is quite random, but we could switch it off. We could revive some people, give them, let's say, the remaining 31 jobs as researchers and just boost research crazily. This is not needed on easy difficulty, but probably you have to micromanage much more if you're on the higher difficulty. I just played once. It was very, very nice experience. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna replay it, to be honest. I don't really replay XCOM games. I just play them once, I win the campaign, and I'm happy with the vast amount of progress that happens during the game. From basically it's from 0 to hero. You go from being naked with handgun to super soldiers with psi powers and synthetic body parts and some futuristic weapons. All of that happens during the course of the game. Yeah, that is ring and that is defense. So basically you put stuff there because you're sometimes attacked. So generally speaking, you spam some sort of turrets onto your base. I'm not sure if they can be upgraded. I don't think so. Maybe they can. I don't think so. So you just put stuff there and it defends itself. You can also defend the base with team if they have flying suits. So that's another thing that you can reach at some point. So yeah, this is the, I know why it says one more. I think we can build this one. It's new, but I'm not sure what it does and I never need it. Right, this is engineering. So just generally how many resources are in the game. There is 10 types of resources. Some of them grow. I think this number is how many we produce. We don't produce cybernetics, but we produce everything else. And we have this many weapons, this many armor types, this many equipment parts. Not all of them. We have 0 of some of them. And I guess that's it. Yeah, it's not that much. You only have 4 types of creatures. Yeah, 5 types of creatures and some equipment. Well, the amount of armor is quite high. There's like 14 types of armor and how many weapons? 19 plus we can have psi powers. So that's quite a lot. We could recycle some of that stuff and regain some resources, but I never did. I just built very few pieces so that my team can use enough. Like basically, if you have 8 people or 12 people, you just need 8 armors of a given type, and that's all you need to have a fully equipped team. As you can see, my team is not fully equipped. I have like this armor, 11 of them, but not one for everybody. This is ship, so this is the usual XCOM ship. This one can hold 12 people, as you have seen before. 12 people. I think we start with 6 or 8, so you just get better. Yeah, this is 12 squad capacity. 4 dock sites means you can have upgrades that allow. Generally speaking, this allows you to cover more ground on the planet and get to places where you couldn't before. So we are slowly spreading from like one area to the entire planet. This kind of reminds me of Dune, first Dune, where you have to just take over the planet from the enemies piece by piece, and of course they are stronger at the beginning. And those are bonuses that you use mostly to, I think it's mostly for scavenging, but I'm not entirely sure. So all those drills and explosive help with what? Looting. Yeah, they help with looting, where you loot those after combat places. Then just put more and you can then scavenge better. And of course, you also scavenge better if you have scavengers in team, so it's kinda all adds up. Then we have research, and it doesn't look like much, but from what I recall when I played the game, yeah, there's quite a lot of it. But they have tiers. So I think this every of those nodes, like let's take this node, it has tiers. So you have to research one by one. So the research slowly goes and unlocks forward. I'm not gonna spoil too much, just showing you one. And basically they all improve your base, they improve your people, they improve the stuff that you can make, the technologies that you can produce, and so on and so forth. It goes from nothing to this, basically everything. That's why I would say that this game is one-time experience, unless you want to just replay the same but make it more difficult. This is one-time experience, very good experience, but generally speaking, after you play once, you have seen all. This archive, probably this is for all the research done. You can see how much there is, because those are all the nodes. So just look at the amount of that stuff. It's just crazy. Everything is explained, like types of ships, defenses, modules, research, creatures, tactics. Even you even have different tactics on the tactical screen where you're fighting. You can give your team different behaviors. And of course the basic guns, I guess you start with pistols, so that's like the very basic thing you get at the very start. You have pistol and no armor, and then you slowly spread to all that stuff. It's just crazy amount of it. Insight. Those are bonuses that you get during the game. I'm not sure if you can go back with that. No, I don't think so. So you have to choose. In a given playthrough, you slowly unlock different fields of interest. I don't know, let's go with shields. So this is giving us better shield effectiveness, creatures are stronger, lockpicks work better, and so on and so forth. different stuff. Like signs are quite useful because pretty much every character can use one sign, this tattoo, so it's like passive bonus. But of course, there are people who are very good at those games. They play a lot, they play on hardest difficulty, so I will leave all the micromanagement and all the discussion about balancing the game and so on. This game basically needs nerds. It needs nerds who tell you exactly what is what and what could be fixed. In my opinion, the game is very well done. It felt balanced, to be honest. I had a very nice experience with it. The only problem was that there was literally one bug that I'm gonna show you in a moment, and the bug was fixed. So all the patches afterwards, I don't know what they were patching, but to me the game worked very, very well. Aside from one patch, one bug. Aside from one bug, it was crashing the game, but you still could finish the game, and now it's completely fixed. There was no problems for me personally. People were reporting some stuff, but I personally had no problem within 6 hours of complete playthrough of this game because I actually finished the entire game. So I'm actually quite afraid what they could change to worse in those patches, because in my opinion this game needed just fixing one tiny thing, and aside from that everything was good. So I don't know what they changed. Maybe they added something, maybe they fixed some optimization, no idea. I didn't read the patch notes. In my opinion the game was very good even before release. And this is Vault, which is basically lore, so I'm not gonna go into this. Basically you have stuff that you can read. Quite some of it slowly unlocks when you find those things, and you can learn about the lore of the planet, different races. I'm not sure, is this, no, it's not the faction, because there are different factions. I'm not even sure what they are. I just know that there is more than one, and I'm gonna leave it like this with less spoilers. Okay, so that was the map. We have the squad. Here we just put the people, but first we have to also give those people specific gear. So if we know that, let's say, this team needs, let's say, a scavenger, we just put him there. But this scavenger particularly should be first equipped in this screen. I guess this is the screen. Yes. So you'd have to first prepare this, where is he? Piston guy or woman. Yeah, he's not a very good scavenger, as you can see. He would be better as engineer, maybe, but he's kind of weak. So maybe he isn't the best scavenger. Maybe he's just low level or something. Or maybe she's sick or something. I don't know. Not the best choice. But if you need scavenger, you can put him there or her. So here you put people on the team. However you like. You can of course have different loadouts here. I saved, actually no, I didn't save it because there was done before the recording. So basically you save it. This is your current loadout. You can have 6 different loadouts, so you can switch teams. You can give them additional creatures for help. You can have teams with more soldiers, more medics, more scavengers, more medics, and so on. I'm not entirely sure how they behave in the combat situation. Why wouldn't you just take all the soldiers? I know that medics help with losses. They can basically revive someone who died, so they don't die. But I'm not sure what's the point of having other types of people, not soldiers. I know that scavengers help with the looting, but the rest, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Let's check once more what's there. So yes, we have soldiers, we have scavengers, we have then engineers, medics, and researchers. So aside from medics, I don't know why would you put a researcher or engineer to the squad, but you can. They generally speaking act as soldiers if they are well leveled and they have perks and all the stuff equipped, all these skins, tattoos, psi powers, whatever. They can just work quite well, at least on easy. So this works for me. Yeah, so 6 loadouts to choose from, and this is help. The game has extensive wiki in-game, so you can read all of that stuff here. I'm not sure if there is something about, yeah, there are tricks. More tricks? No, it's just another page. It doesn't really, yeah, this is about jobs. So basically, yes, we have soldiers, engineers, Yeah, they give more resources, researchers give more research and insight. Interesting. So what if I could take all of them? Whatever. So yeah, I guess this is explained. All of it is explained, but this is a ton of readings. I'm not gonna go into it. And it doesn't explain the aliens, which is maybe good because I'm not gonna spoil it for you what kind of aliens there are. I don't even remember. So I'm gonna leave it like this, just to say that the game has in-game wiki. This is probably some sort of quick information regarding just the course of the game, the story. There's quite a lot of talking. It's kind of like a visual novel. And this is my hub base once again over the planet. The planet is all below. Actually, I should stop it. Pause it, just unpause it when you need to. Research is done, I guess. Yeah, I guess there's nothing to research at this point. I researched everything. Let's just check those buttons. Project names. What does it mean? I'm not sure. Not sure what it does. It does nothing. Maybe because everything is researched. Sphere tree. I don't see the way to unlock it. And this is what? Project details. Yeah, this is something strange. Can we click something? Yeah, we can click this, but it doesn't say much. Aside from, yeah, this is explained. And this is not explained. Maybe it's missing text for some reason. Maybe it's just hard to say why some of them are explained, some of them are not explained. Why this is empty, I have no idea. Anyway, aside from this whole wiki thing, we have, what do we have? Yeah, that was the information that happens. And now we have to go to this map. And yeah, I already clicked this one bug that was in the game. So the bug was about certain information that something was researched or something just happened in the course of the game, and if you clicked it and acknowledged it, it was crashing the game. But that was fixed. As you can see, there is nothing there. The game works, the game didn't crash, so that was fixed. Alright, so that will be it. A long review, but I wanted to tell you everything that I remembered from playing the game. I did it in one run overnight. So the game is short. Well, if you go on easy and if you automatize everything. If you go on normal, probably will be longer, but this is generally speaking a shorter experience than an XCOM game. I also noticed that the game has mixed reviews, so it might not be for everybody. I personally liked it. I really like the amount of content. I really like how much customization you have, how much you can micromanage it if you want to, but you don't have to. You can play the way you want. You can play it on easy, you can play it on hard. You can let the combat auto-resolve, or you can set units and try to use their weapons in specific range, optimal usage of units. You can put tanks in the front, you can put snipers to the back, you can try to distract enemies with your creatures, and so on, so forth. Tons of combinations if you want to go into this, but you can also just auto-resolve it and throw your enemies against against the enemy, just like Zergs, basically. Let them fight and resolve it on their own. If they are stronger, they will just win, and that will be it. So, strategic micromanagement game with yes, resources management, again saying management twice. Tactical side is smaller, much smaller than XCOM. It's like the opposite of XCOM. XCOM is based on tactical combat, usually turn-based, and this is based on the planning phase with all the research, engineering of weapons, gear, using specific squads, prioritizing targets, optimizing the gain of data and resources, and so on. Lots of clicking, lots of thinking, lots of reading. Kind of like visual novel to some extent, because there's a ton of dialogue, there's a long story with different races and events happening. I think you even have choices. I'm not sure if this leads to another resolve, but I know that you can make a choice during the game. Basically, it's a dialogue. Whatever you do is this or that. And yeah, the whole gaming loop of going from zero to hero with a squad and fighting this battle of minds on the planning table against the much stronger enemy against aliens and trying to understand them, what they are fighting us with, how we can counteract it, what can we use with limited resources. This is basically XCOM, and it works just like XCOM. It works well. It's a good idea. It's a different approach to the same idea. I like XCOM games. I played many of them from the very first to first of the new XCOMs. I didn't play the completely newest XCOM 2, but I played most of XCOM games, and as a fan of the genre, I can say that this is very similar, very good. It has the very same vibe, but it's a slightly different game, much more focused on planning your moves and optimizing your resources than just doing the combat. The combat is pretty much XCOM on very fast forward. It's like 1, 2, 3 done, and we go back to planning. We go back to okay, what's going on? What can we do? Who was wounded? How can we reach specific projects first and then do stuff and so on. So generally speaking, 9 out of 10. Tempest Citadel, very good game. However, it might be one-time experience. So if you choose to play on easy, you can finish after 6 hours. If you play on normal, it can be longer. But you have to make up your mind. The game isn't exactly cheap. It's like between $15 and $20, probably $70 or more. So it's an average price. If you would just play it once and be done, or you don't necessarily want this approach to XCOM, you might have to wait for sale. But I very rarely recommend games, I very rarely keep games, I very rarely finish games that I am reviewing. And this one I finished the day I got it. So this is exceptional title, in my opinion. I know that some people review this game as not so good. I personally very much liked it. So that would be it for the Tempest Citadel review. Full recommendation, 9 out of 10, and I'll see you in the next review.